A big row has erupted over External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj allegedly helping former IPL chief Lalit Modi get travel documents. In fact, British Daily has blown the cover of how Indian origin MP in Britain Keith Vaz used the minister's name to expedite travel documents for Lalit Modi. According to the report, and India Today now has the letter of how Vaz cited Swaraj in his conversations with Sarah Rapson, the head of UK Visa and Immigration. Less than 24 hours after Swaraj's name was invoked, Modi was in fact granted his travel papers. A little background now. Lalit Modi came to London in 2010 amid the IPL scam. His Indian passport was later revoked, leaving him grounded in the UK. He received his UK travel documents last summer after a lengthy legal battle with the UK House Office. It is about how Lalit Modi got these travel documents is now at the centre of this huge controversy. Kanchan Gupta of the BJP is now joining us on the phone line. Sir, does propriety at this moment demand that Sushma Swaraj step down?
Yeah, this is the second time I'm making this point. I am not speaking on behalf of the BJP.
All right, sir, we stand corrected on that. Go ahead.
No, why should why should she step down? What wrong has she committed?
Sir,
this is. See, look, there are two parts to the story. This controversy is not something which has just happened because Times now had a story.
Sir, the point here is that she has helped a fugitive. Is that not improper? Should not she step down?
No, in which case you should also ask the Delhi High Court justices who ordered within days in July or August, I don't recall correctly now, in 2014, they said that the seizure of Lalit Modi's passport was unconstitutional and illegal, and they ordered the restitution of the passport, in which case you should also call into question the integrity of the judges. I mean, here is a man, he speaks to the foreign minister saying that he has to travel to Portugal to sign authorization papers for his wife's cancer surgery. And the UK Home Office is saying that the UPA government had previously said that travel documents would impinge India-UK ties.
So would any other fugitive have got this sort of a leeway, even on humanitarian grounds? That is the big question. After all, there are cases pending against Lalit Modi. Should he have been helped?
Well, let me then give you three instances. We had Sanjay Dutt, who was found guilty of participating in the Bombay bombings, and he was given repeated parole to go complete his films. That was not even humanitarian. We had Jessica Lal's murderer, Manu Sharma, who got repeated paroles to go party in pubs in Delhi. And here we have the government merely saying that Lalit Modi can travel to and fro London and Portugal to sign authorization papers for his wife's cancer surgery.
All right.
And you are calling into question the credibility of the government.
Okay. Rahul Kaval wants to ask.
Kanchan, while I think the one thing that everyone needs to keep in mind is that the story actually came in a British daily a week ago and now is being picked up, I want you to use all the experience you have to take our viewers through what's actually happening in Lutyens, Delhi. Do you believe, Mr. Gupta, as someone who's tracked the BJP more closely than most people in this country, that this could possibly be as part of an internecine war between senior leaders in the Modi Sarkar, where leaks are being used to trip each other up? Is this part of an attempt, is this part of an infighting that's going on within the party, within the government? Is that at all, in your view, a possibility, sir?
Rahul, as you rightly mentioned, that the story, it's not some exclusive story by Times now. The story first appeared in the Sunday Times on June 7th, if I'm not wrong.
That's right.
And Sunday Times of London. And I have a feeling, although I have no evidence, that the Sunday Times story is prompted by local post-election British politics, and because Keith Vaz is prominently featured in that story. Now, as far as the Times Now report is concerned, I am convinced, and I would personally believe, that the story has been fed to the channel with a purpose. Now, the reason behind that purpose, the reason behind feeding that story could be either, inter-party politics or intra-party politics. But clearly, it's a hatchet job. You are pulling out something which happened in a very passing manner a year ago to pillory a minister who has just been rated as the best performing minister in this government in the annual reports. Your own opinion poll, Rahul, which you showed on your channel, rated her as the best performing minister, as did opinion polls across channels. So clearly there is some targeting which is happening.
But she's been very low-key, she's been very behind the scenes, she hasn't been in the public limelight. What then could possibly be a motive to want to target her, Kanchan?
Rahul, I mean, she has also explained that the core purpose of her, the core reason of her success as foreign minister has been that she has taken the role of a backroom strategist and allowed the Prime Minister to go to step forward and be in the limelight. And she has been paving the ground for the Prime Minister's hugely successful foreign visits. Now, the Prime Minister, I must say, has been unequivocal in acknowledging the contribution of Sushma Swaraj and the Foreign Ministry. And it's very rare that the Prime Minister praises a minister or a ministry in public pronouncements, at least this Prime Minister. And
but you would accept, Mr. Gupta, that despite this possibly being an internal war, internal subterfuge in the BJP, this is a big embarrassment for the Modi Sarkar, because the reality is the foreign minister now stands accused of having tried to help someone who's accused by the enforcement directorate. So that, whether it might be for internal reasons or whatever, is deeply embarrassing for the Bharatiya Janata Party and for the Prime Minister himself.
If it is true that this is some hothouse politics within the government, within the party, within the bureaucracy, if at all that is true, then what comes to mind is that you cut your nose to spite your face. Of course, you're right. I mean, this embarrasses the entire government because politics is ultimately about perception. So you can keep on repeating the facts ad nauseum, but the popular perception would be, to quote you, that she helped a fugitive. Now, one could say that you had another fugitive, a hotelier in America, who was given a Padma Award by the previous government. He was wanted by both CBI and ED in this country. So, the examples abound. And again, I keep on repeating the same point.
Okay.
What was the help which was proffered? He needed to travel from London to Lisbon to sign authorization papers for his wife's critical cancer surgery. The British government was reluctant to issue those papers because the previous government had said that any travel documents would impinge on ties. And Sushma said, no, please, I mean, it won't impinge ties. Now, one could read further into this. If Mr. Lalit Modi wanted in India, can sit in England, and that does not impinge bilateral relations. He is being given a travel document by the Home Office, impinges bilateral relations. And Rahul, please also keep in mind that within days of this happening, coincidentally, the Delhi High Court issued a very stern instruction to the government of India that Lalit Modi's passport should be restored, and cancellation of his passport was unconstitutional, illegal.
Okay, I want to go across now. From AAP party on this broadcast, Sachin, to you personally, the BJP says there will be no further reaction from the government. Sushma Swaraj will be the last word.
All right, let me go across now to Aam Aadmi Party leader Ashutosh. Also joining us on the phone line is Sachin Pilot of the Congress Party. Let me first take a quick question from Sachin Pilot. Sachin, is the Congress going to be pushing for Sushma Swaraj to step down?
I think what is more important is for us to first understand who is the person in question. Here is a gentleman who has been absconding from Indian law. He's not been in the country for years together. He's been on the run. There is a lookout notice for him. And all investigating agencies have been looking to prosecute and charge sheet Mr. Modi. And here is a government that came to power promising transparency and propriety in public life and wanted to do away with all the illicit transactions that have been happening in the recent past, according to them. Now, it exposes the farcical stance of the BJP, because here for the last 1.5 years, they have been trying to chase somebody. Finance Ministry has been looking for that person. And here the top leaders in the BJP have been helping and abetting him. Now, I think no less than the Prime Minister must stand up and clarify whether he stands by what has happened or he does not condone it.
All right. Sachin, I'd request you to stay on the line with us. Let me go across to Ashutosh now. Ashutosh, do you feel the same as the Congress party, that it's time for the Prime Minister to clarify on this issue?
I just heard Chandan Kanchan Gupta, and though he denied that he belongs to the BJP, but the fact is that his leanings are very, very strongly with the BJP, and that's the first reaction from the BJP, you can say, as per se. And how brazenly he has said that what wrong Sushma Swaraj has committed. And when he was speaking, I just wanted to ask one question, that tomorrow if Mr. Dawood Ibrahim, his wife is suffering from cancer and he needed to go to the Lisbon for signing some documents, and if Dawood Ibrahim had contacted somebody in the Home Ministry or in the External Affairs Ministry, would the External Affairs Minister would have done the same thing? So I think it's a bizarre argument which is given by the first reaction which is coming from the BJP side. And let me tell you very frankly that Sushma Swaraj herself admitted that she did help out Lalit Modi, and after that admission, I think she does not, she should not, there is a clear-cut case of breach of propriety, and she should not hold the post of foreign minister. But let me also tell you one thing, that I don't expect Modi government to sack her or she to resign, because if you see the entire cabinet, almost 30% have a serious offences, like Sanjeev Balyan, there is a serious allegation about him in the Muzaffarnagar riot and the Nihal Chand, the serious accusation of riot, and they are still continuing. And then there is a case of Mr. Babulal Bukharia in the Gujarat cabinet of Modi, where he was convicted by the court, but he still continued. So I don't see Sushma Swaraj resigning at all.
All right, let me go back to Sachin Pilot. Now, Sachin, you said that the Congress at least demands a clarification from the Prime Minister, but Sushma Swaraj in her defence has said that she conveyed to the British High Commissioner that the British government should examine the request of Lalit Modi as per British rules and regulations. So their defence is that what did she do wrong in going to the British side and saying that they should independently examine the case?
You see, there are hundreds of people who ask for such examinations to be held for those cases, and the person in question is not someone who is a charity worker or someone who deserves the helping hand of the government. One side, the government of India is gunning for him, is chasing him, is wanting to prosecute him, and charge sheet him in very serious allegations of financial irregularity. On the other hand, the same government is also saying, please look into see how you can help the gentleman. There's a dichotomy, and I think it, like I said earlier, it throws open the double face of the BJP. You want to fight against corruption, you want to show that you are upright and honest. On the other hand, you're helping and abetting people who have broken multiple Indian laws, and they're very serious and grave offences that he has committed in this country. That is why he has not come back to India for years together. Now, to say that please examine, that the government of UK is doing anyway. Why does it need the top BJP minister to go and help the person? I think what is more important is for the PMO, which I'm sure has to now explain whether they were in the know or not. If this happened with the consent of the Prime Minister, whether someone is in the cabinet or not, that is the decision of the Prime Minister. But there is morality, there's probability, and there has to be some sort of a stand that the Prime Minister must take and say, yes, I knew about it and I think it's absolutely okay. Let us then see what the PMO has to say.
All right, Rahul Kanwal wants to ask a question. Rahul, go ahead.
Sachin, in the previous instance when charges were levelled against Nihal Chand, we saw the Bharatiya Janata Party government try and brazen it out. How does the Congress intend to take this up? Because the monsoon session is still about 25 days away. We just heard from Kanchan Gupta, who works closely with the BJP, where he suggests that this could possibly be internal fighting in the party. Are we then, the suggestion is this could be a Chidambaram versus Pranab style battle taking place. But nonetheless, how does the Congress intend to take this up? Given that the BJP so far is saying that Sushma Swaraj has spoken, our government has nothing more to say about this.
I don't know what the BJP intends to do, and I think the AICC will have a proper press briefing as to what the stand of the party will be. But I believe that the person in question is Mr. Modi, who has been very infamous for his activities in Rajasthan. He has been known to be involved in all sorts of illegal activities when the BJP was in government here. And I have a suspicion that more names will come out of this to see who are the people who have been helping him to get assistance in the UK. And more names of the BJP perhaps might come out when investigations get further down. I don't know much about what's happening within the BJP government, but I think this case in point indicates that the government's double standards on transparency, on fight against corruption stand totally exposed, and they must stand up. Just by saying one sentence in one statement will not change positions. The government of India, and right from the Prime Minister onwards, need to come out and speak openly about what has gone on.
Sachin, can you elaborate on those names that you were saying that there were more people involved, more important people involved in helping Lalit Modi? Please elaborate.
I don't know who they might be. I have a suspicion. I mean, if there's one person who is openly...
You care to share your suspicion with the viewers?
I don't know who those people might be, but I have a suspicion that if someone digs deeper, there will be probably other names of the BJP and other people who have been trying to help him get his documentation right. And so Government of India's stand is to prosecute him, to issue red cordon notice, to fine him, to say that we're gunning and we're chasing him, to prosecute him. On the other hand, the same government is also assisting in helping him in getting documentation and paper travels from the UK.
Sachin, is it common for spouses of ministers to get a thank you note for favors being rendered by a minister? Is it common for a minister's daughter to be a part of the defense team of a fugitive like Mr. Lalit Modi?
Look, I don't want to comment on the family members of the politician, but I'm saying when the person is holding office, and especially because I think it is a collective responsibility. It's not about one member of the cabinet. The entire cabinet is held by the Prime Minister, and he must now clarify what he has to say. He's a very effective communicator. He talks about everything under the sun. Perhaps he should enlighten the country on what he feels about this particular issue also.
All right, let me quickly go across to Ashutosh for a question over here. Ashutosh, the division bench of the Delhi High Court had restored the passport of Lalit Modi last year in August. So now the BJP's, or rather the other side is saying, what is wrong if Sushma Swaraj asked the British government to perhaps look into the case individually and grant travel documents to Lalit Modi, because the court has gone ahead and done something similar?
That's a very poor defense which is coming from the BJP side, but because can they deny that there is a red corner notice issued against Mr. Lalit Modi? Can they deny that there is a red corner notice issued against him? Can they deny that there is an Enforcement Directorate investigation against him? Can they deny there has been an attempt to get him extradited from the UK to India? So these are the classical defense. Let me also tell you that what I was listening to Mr. Kanchan Gupta, it's very interesting and fascinating to elaborate on that point. But when he was hinting that there must be some politics maybe within the BJP or outside, I can tell you one thing very frankly, that this is the first indication that Narendra Modi government, Narendra Modi as a leader and the Prime Minister within the BJP, his situation is getting little bit more tentative. Because if you remember, Sushma Swaraj is not an ordinary foreign minister. She was and she still is one of the most powerful ministers and prime ministerial candidate before Narendra Modi became. And she was a leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. So the fact is that few months back, when Rajnath Singh was also in the dock for his son, and then he threatened to resign.
All right,
so
Ashutosh, I'll just hold you there for a bit, because the RSS has reacted to this. Indresh Kumar has reacted to this whole controversy. Let's listen it. All right, first let's listen into Saurav Ganguly. He has reacted to this story. We'll first listen to Saurav Ganguly.
You got to ask the board that. I have no idea. I'm Jain, I don't want to comment on all this. I'll play. बोर्ड डिसाइड कर बेटा वेरी गुड इट्स अ ग्रेट मूव
21st को योगा डे है आप उसको ज्वाइन करेंगे
किस पे
21st
Are the RSS and BJP building a ground to protect Sushma Swaraj? That's the